Comrade, it's a great time having you. There's nothing can stop you. Motivation message that bring it to you. I'm Bismarck say. Go to my YouTube channel. I will love motivation message. Nothing can stop you. Motivation message. Watch them. Subscribe to them. I'm counting on you to get more subscribers and more viewers. I know you helped me to achieve that. Also, I have another channel on YouTube. Your marriage will be a state of mind to the world. There are a lot of teachings on dating and courtship and marriage. I want you to watch them and subscribe to them for me. I'm counting you. Thank you for your very staggering support you've been giving me all this while. Those are following me on Facebook, Twitter, and those things. Also, I have a lot of ebooks. When you go to American and Cameroon, I have a lot of ebooks. Some of them are building a competitiveness in a crowded planet, $4. To be impossible to have this world without you, $4. Your marriage will be a state of mind to the world, $5. There is something inside you, the world is in need of $4. Leaders of Generation, I think it's $5. Go to American and Cameroon and get these books for yourself. I'm sharing the motivation message I've entitled Building Knowledge-Based Economies. Building Knowledge-Based Economies. So propitiously or most effectively, there is a need to raise global influential thinkers and achievers for multitudinous economy. This will form an ability to do that will form the central tenant with that proactive research, moving economies from parlor state or unpleasant state to propitious path of development. Ability to do that will move economics from parlor state or unpleasant state to propitious path of development in the global world. As a man champions such an idea, Vira Hagria Vikata Jiri, an Indian former president who championed the idea the need for us to work towards building knowledge-based economics in the global world to get that global influential thinkers and achievers from serious economics in the global world, which will form a central tenet of proactive research, moving people from parallel state to propitious part of development. Resplendently, or most importantly, by building knowledge-based economics, it will serve as an alternative measure to help liberate personalities who are under puppet regime, who are under unpleasant conditions or puppet conditions, and who are perennial achievers, helping them to help lifelong in productivity and efficiency, helping them to lifelong in productive efficiency, so helping them to enhance their productivity and efficiency if you're able to achieve that. As a man also champion idea, Yandi Petu Nikara, former Singapore former president, who championed the idea to have build knowledge-based economies in the global world. Comprehensively, by combining our effort and conciliating of ideas, we can make the world more complete by helping to jettison or helping to reduce any range-seeking activities or racketeering activities or helping to reduce any unpleasant activities, which with our profound agility, we are able to achieve that. President like Professor Dr. Engineer Habibie, former president of Indonesia, somebody who champions an idea for the global world. There's a personal quote from Harry Ford, American automobile magnate, once said that the only rare security that a man will have in this world is the reservoir of knowledge, experience, and ability. Indeed, Harry Ford is correct when he said that, because indeed the production of radical knowledge is the blistering ingredient. It's a very important ingredient on which countries will help countries to reach the nirvana or reach the pinnacle, which all of us has a responsibility towards working towards achieving them. I want to share you a story about a country you all know, United States of America, who over the period have helped a lot of people, personalities in the global world build knowledge-based economies. It gained independence in June 4th from 1776, and from the British people in 1776. Its main founders of America was George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, Alexander Hamilton, Thomas Jefferson, John J. James Madison, Thomas Paine, and John Adams. The U.S. sparked its development, taking inspiration from ancient Greco-Roman, Renaissance, English models and ideas over the period, founded on the Enlightenment principles of on reliable human rights and concept, natural right, human and natural right concept of governed and republicanism over the period. That's where they start sparking their level of development from these principles and philosophies, from the Greco-Roman, Renaissance, and English models and ideas. Collective consciousness, enlightenment thinking, philosophical ideologies, and landing on a space and all those things spark its productivity or radical knowledge over the period as a country. In 2018, the spin-off pool of 551 presidential scholars rated George Washington, Franklin D. Roosevelt, Abraham Lincoln, Theodore Roosevelt, and Thomas Jefferson as one of the most highly rated presidents that speed up Americans' expansion of knowledge and development over the period. George Washington was the first president of the U.S. who helped patriotism force to victory in the American with that Revolutionary War. He helped the country during the Revolutionary War and established the American federal government, known as the father of the country as George Washington. People like Franklin Roosevelt over the period, the 82 president of U.S. who helped in the National Recovery Administration Program, provided economic vibrancy to unemployed people and farmers for the period, with that institutional regulation reforms relating to finance, communication, and labor was some of the palpable and incontrovertible achievement of Franklin Roosevelt over the period. Thomas Jefferson, founding father, one of the founding fathers, served as the third president of the U.S., was a strong advocate for rapid educational development, human rights. Human rights were substantial inspiration to the American Revolution. In 1803, he promoted the Western expansionism policy with that Louisiana Purchase that doubled the nation's geographical size of the period. In 1930s, Horace Mann, who was a Massachusetts legislator and secretary for state of the Board of Education of the period, advocated for the creation of public schools universally available for all children, free of charge and funded by the state. It was the idea in the 1830s. Man called Horace Hans was a Massachusetts legislator of the period. That time, top universities. Through that top university, Princeton was formed in 1746, was a private university. Stanford University in 1891, a private university. Harvard University, 1636. Yale University, 1711. Columbia University, 1759. Massachusetts IT, 1861. Where all some of these that played a very systemic role towards making U.S. knowledge-based economy. And according to statistics, U.S. contributors 1/3 of the global GDP, and they've been doing that consistently. This didn't happen by conjecture, it didn't happen by accident, it didn't happen by chance. It happened because over the period, America built the economy as knowledge-based economy, helping to build the economic vibrancies of a couple of people, the global world, and the rest of the world. I want to remind you, I'm Miss Marco said, go to YouTube, have a lot of motivation message, watch them, subscribe to them, nothing can stop you. Also have a lot of motivation, I have a lot of teachings on dating and courtship and marriage. Your marriage will be a state of mind to the world. Watch them, their teachings on dating and courtship and marriage. Watch them and subscribe to them. Have a lot of ebooks. Go to Amazon Kindle and Gumroad and help me. I'm not getting the sale. I know you guys help me get a sale. Body your competitiveness in the crowded planet, $4. To be impossible to have this world without you, $4. Your marriage will be a state of mind to the world, $5. There is something inside you, the world is in the $4. Leaders of generation think it's $5. Go to Amazon Kindle and Gumroad and get this book for yourself. So I want to wrap up on this issue. What are some of the resplendent ways? What are some of the pleasant ways we can help build knowledge-based economies? What are some of the resplendent ways or pleasant ways that can help the world build knowledge-based economy? Number one, patently, UNESCO. Most importantly, UNESCO should force developing and lower middle-income countries to adopt American education system to help enhance productivity and efficiency of the citizenry. There's a need for UNESCO and the UN to force developing and lower middle-income countries to adopt American education system. Whether it's the best education system, this will help enhance the efficiency and the productivity of the minds of people in this country to help them lifelong in productivity and efficiency, or help them enhance efficiency and productivity over the period. As in 1830s, a man called Horace Mann, Massachusetts legislator, the secretary of the state of board of education of the period, strongly advocated for U.S. to have a very robust education system that was built on that idea that have sharpened the country's sort of potentiating perpetuous level of growth, development in every aspect. And I think UNESCO have also that mandate to operationalize that. Ostensibly, there's a need to build a smart entrepreneurship, knowledge-based economies made up of global influential thinkers, creative, competitive, and sustainable thinkers for the global world. How do we do that? There's a need for most countries, developing and lower middle-income countries and middle-income countries, devote some of the public holidays towards massive educational programs on entrepreneurship countrywide programs that's being promoted on national TV and media to promote that. Their public holidays can devote some of the public holidays towards massive educational programs on entrepreneurship for the countrywide to build people's mind towards building a smart entrepreneurship knowledge-based economies without global influential thinkers, creating competitive and sustainable thinking over the period. Also, the need for media to commit 2 to 3% of their program towards entrepreneurship programs nationwide to build people's mind, especially in developing and middle income countries, to achieve such a very propitious, a very blistering outcome for the global. And also, on the same point, in order to achieve, in order to build a sustainable entrepreneurship knowledge-based economy, there's a need for entrepreneurship startup programs to be provided, which will provide capital for not less than 15 to 20,000 people annually, which will be giving that capital base to start their business, to help them ignite their knowledge on entrepreneurship and what they are made up of, resourcefulness, adeptness, adroitness over the period to achieve that. So we can build that. We can build a sustainable, smart entrepreneurship nation, which is made of global information thinkers and creative, competitive thinkers over the world. When we devote some of the public holidays towards massive educational program on entrepreneurship program nationwide, when media houses is being forced to commit 2% to 3% of their program towards the entrepreneurship program, especially in developing lower and middle income countries, where a startup integration program is being launched, where every year they are major recipient of these that will help them ignite that. These were some of the acts of Park Chin-hyun, the South Korea politician who entrepreneurship policy was called a miracle on Hanover that went on to towards the development of chaebols, companies that chaebols in Korea are the family businesses that Hyundai, LG, and Samsung over the period. Number three, expressively, there's a need to have a precise compulsory free education program for literate and semi-literate, where there will be issued certificate, and this certificate will be used as a requirement for accessing national services like national health insurance and government contract. So there's a need for government in developing in lower middle income countries and middle income countries over the period to prescribe compulsory free education program for illiterate and semi-literate, where they will be issued certificate which will be made available to them as a requirement for accessing national services like national health insurance and government contract. They will force them to participate in such program that will build their knowledge capacity and their mental strength over the period to achieve that. The former president of Ghana, John Ajikun Kufuor, former president over the period, initiated distance learning program, educational program that helped both illiterate, semi-literate, and a lot of people. And today is one of the very pivotal program helping people to get a lot of degrees, enhance their knowledge consistently over the period. And this can be epitomized over the period. Perspicuously, most or very obviously, there's a need to pass law that will enforce media, both private and public, to devote about not less than minimum of 20% of their programs towards quality educational programs that facilitate knowledge building capacity. Of course, these private companies are there for profit. They can still promote quality educational program, not necessarily programs that builds people's knowledge to actually come out of themselves to achieve what they want to achieve. They can commit most of their program, notwithstanding the need for them to make profit. They can still make profit. Depends on how they package this program to facilitate that knowledge-based building economy we want to achieve. So then there's a need for this, as already retweeted. So a man called Kempf Rupert Murdoch, who is an Australian-born American media magnate over the period, have owned over 800 media companies in 50 countries. From Australia, he took a small newspaper from his father, and over the period, he built that small newspaper to a multinational company, having 800 media companies in 50 countries. The Australian American Kenneth Rupert would have achieved that over the period. Constituency. Let's build economies with children who are generational knowledge based in pathways. Wow, we need to work towards building all economies with children who are generational knowledge based in pathways. How do we do that? There's a need for us to develop effective pedagogy. Pedagogy means effective teaching. There's a need to develop effective curricula, robust parental approaches and academic systems, pedagogy, and all those things that will help build economies with children who are generational knowledge based in partners of the period. This were idea that was championed by a man called Johan Heinrich Pestuko, a Swedish pedagogy who was the father of pedagogy over the period, helped to build people achieving that consistently towards this mindset. I want to remind you, I have a lot of motivational messages on YouTube. Nothing can stop you. Watch them and subscribe to them for me. I'm counting on you to get more subscribers and viewers Also have a motivation message on YouTube, another channel I call Your Marriage Will Be a State of Mind to Work. A lot of teachings on dating and question marriage. Watch them, subscribe to them. I'm counting on them. I'm counting on you guys to help me get more viewers and subscribers. Also have a lot of ebooks, Amazon Kindle and Gumroad. They're very cheap. Some of these books are Building a Competitiveness, The Crowded Planet, $4. To be impossible to have this world without you, $4. Your Marriage Will Be a State of Mind to Work, $5. There's something inside you, the world is in need of $4. Leaders of generational thinkers, $4. Go to Amazon Kindle and Gumroad. There's a lot of books up there for you. Always remember there's a need for us to work towards building knowledge-based economies in the global world.